My name is Brooke Sullivan, and I'm 29 years old. 6 months ago, I thought I knew exactly how this Christmas would look. I'd be wearing the emerald green dress I bought in September, standing next to Cameron at his law firm's annual Christmas gala, champagne in hand, engagement ring catching the light from those overpriced crystal chandeliers. His partners would congratulate us. His colleagues would tell me how lucky I was. I'd smile and pretend the compliment didn't feel backwards. Instead, I spent Christmas Eve alone in my apartment, eating takeout Thai food and watching Home Alone for the third time. And I've never felt more free in my entire life. It started in July. That's when Cameron Bennett asked me to marry him on a beach in Cape Cod with a 2.1 carat diamond ring and a speech he'd clearly practiced. I said yes because I loved him, because we'd been together for 4 years, because at 29, everyone around me was getting married, and I thought we were next. Cameron was 31, a corporate attorney at Mitchell & Stone. I'm a project coordinator at a healthcare tech startup. I make $73,000 a year. Decent money, not impressive money. I liked my job. I had good benefits, a boss who respected boundaries, and I left work at 5:30 p.m. most days without feeling guilty about it. For me, that was success. For Cameron, it started to feel like I wasn't trying hard enough. The comments began in August. We were at his friend Jason's rooftop barbecue in Boston, and someone asked what I did. Before I could answer, Cameron jumped in. Brooks in project coordination, healthcare tech. It's like administrative project management stuff. Administrative? Like I scheduled meetings and ordered office supplies. Actually, I said, keeping my voice light, I coordinate cross-functional product launches across 40 hospitals in the Northeast. Right, yeah, Cameron said, already looking away. It's coordination work. I let it go. He'd had 3 beers. Maybe he misspoke. But then it happened again at his college friend's engagement party in September, and again at his sister's birthday dinner in October. Every time I mentioned my job, Cameron found a way to minimize it. "You've been in that role for 3 years now, haven't you?" he said one night in early November. We were on the couch, him scrolling through LinkedIn, me reading. 2.5? Feels longer. Don't you want to move up? Get into management or something? I like what I do. Yeah, but long term. You're not going to coordinate projects forever, right? I set my book down. Why not, if I'm good at it and it pays well? He finally looked at me. Jason's fiancée just made senior director at her firm. She's 28. Derek's girlfriend is about to make partner at her consulting company. They're ambitious. And I'm not? I didn't say that. You kinda did. He sighed, like I was being sensitive. I'm just trying to encourage you, Brooke. You could do more if you wanted to. The thing is, I didn't. I didn't want to work 70-hour weeks or check emails at midnight or miss my nephew's soccer games. But Cameron was starting to look at me like my contentment was a personal failing. By mid-November, the comments got sharper. "You know Mark's wife," he said one Sunday morning. "She just launched her own marketing agency, made $200K in her first year." Good for her. Yeah. It's impressive. He let that word hang in the air. Impressive. The thing I apparently wasn't. I tried to talk to him about it. I told him his comments were making me feel like I wasn't enough. He looked genuinely confused. "Brooke, I'm literally just making conversation. If you're feeling insecure about your career, that's something you need to work on, not something I'm doing to you." I almost believed him. The breaking point came on December 10th, 2 weeks before Christmas. Cameron's firm was hosting their annual holiday gala at the Fairmont Copley Plaza. Cameron had been talking about it for weeks. "This is a big night," he told me 3 days before. "All the senior partners will be there, some potential clients. It's important." "I know, I already got my dress." He hesitated. "What dress did you get?" "The green one, the velvet one, from Nordstrom." "How much was it?" $240. "Why?" His jaw tightened. "Just asking." But I knew that face. That was his "I'm managing my reaction" face. "Cameron, what's wrong with the dress?" "Nothing, it's fine. It's just, this is a pretty high-profile event. You're going to be meeting important people, partners' wives, clients. First impressions matter." Something cold settled in my stomach. "Are you saying my $240 dress isn't good enough?" "I'm saying maybe we should have gone shopping together." "You didn't offer to go shopping together." "Because I didn't think I'd have to." I stared at him. "What does that mean?" He rubbed his face. "Forget it. Wear whatever you want." But he'd already said it. I already knew what he meant. My taste wasn't refined enough. My budget wasn't high enough. I should have canceled right then. But I didn't. I told myself I was overreacting, that he was stressed about work, that it would be fine. On December 10th, I put on the green velvet dress, did my makeup carefully, curled my hair. I looked good. I knew I looked good. Cameron picked me up at 6 p.m. He wore a charcoal Tom Ford suit that cost more than my monthly rent. When I came out, he looked me up and down. "You look nice," he said. "Not beautiful, not stunning, nice." The gala was exactly what I expected. High ceilings, string quartet, ice sculptures shaped like the firm's logo. Cameron's hand found the small of my back as we walked in, but it felt more possessive than affectionate. We made the rounds. He introduced me to partners, associates, clients. Every single time, the introduction went the same way. "This is Brooke, my fiancé." Just that. No mention of what I did, no attempts to make me part of the conversation. I was an accessory. Around 7:30 p.m., we joined a group of his colleagues near the bar. 6 men, all attorneys, all drinking scotch and talking about a case. Their wives and girlfriends stood nearby in a separate cluster, talking about a Pilates studio. I didn't fit in either group. One of the partners, Richard Chen, finally acknowledged me. "So, Brooke, what do you do?" Before I could answer, Cameron cut in. "Brooke works in healthcare, project coordination." There it was again. Healthcare, project coordination, like I filed paperwork. "Actually," I said, smiling tightly, "I manage product launch operations for a healthcare tech company. We build software systems for hospitals. We just completed a rollout that's going to streamline patient data access for over 2 million people across the Northeast." Cameron's hand tightened on my waist. I felt it, that warning squeeze. Richard's wife, Elena, appeared beside us in head-to-toe Chanel. "Oh, how wonderful," she said, in that voice wealthy women use when they're being polite to someone they consider beneath them. "Richard does pro bono work for a health clinic. Maybe you two can compare notes." She thought I worked at a clinic. I don't work at a clinic. I work for a tech company that serves hospital systems. "Oh, well, that's still very nice." Cameron's hand squeezed tighter. The conversation moved on. I stood there, silent, feeling like a child who'd spoken out of turn. We stayed another 90 minutes. Cameron worked the room, introducing me over and over as just my fiancé. Never by name, never with any detail. By the time we got in the car at 9:30 p.m., I had a headache from smiling so much. "That went well," Cameron said, pulling out of the parking garage. I didn't respond. Richard seemed impressed, and I think I made a good impression on Foster. Silence. "Brooke, I heard you." He glanced over. "What's wrong?" I turned to look at him. "You barely introduced me tonight. Every time someone asked what I did, you jumped in and made my job sound like I answer phones." "I didn't do that. Cameron, you literally said project coordination, like I'm an administrative assistant." "That's what you do." "No, it's not. I coordinate launches for a $50 million product line. I manage timelines, budgets, and cross-functional teams. But you made it sound like I schedule meetings." He sighed. "You're being sensitive. I'm being accurate." "Brooke, those people don't care about the specifics of your job. They were being polite." So you thought you'd help them out by making sure they didn't have to hear too much about it? That's not what I was doing. Then what were you doing? He was quiet for a long moment. We were on I-93, streetlights flashing past. I was trying to keep the conversation smooth, he said finally. Those people are important to my career. I can't have my fiancé lecturing them about software launches at a cocktail party. Lecturing. I'd answered one question. So, what am I supposed to do? Just stand there and smile? Honestly, yeah, that's kind of how these things work. The word honestly hit me like a slap. You wanted me there to look pretty and not talk too much. I wanted you there to support me. His voice rose. This was an important night, Brooke. I needed to make a good impression. And instead, you're trying to prove something to Richard Chen's wife? I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was having a conversation. You were showing off. I was existing. You were making it about you, he snapped. The car went quiet. He took a breath, forcing himself to calm down. Look, I just need you to understand that at these events, optics matter. The people I work with are used to a certain kind of partner. What kind of partner? He didn't answer. Jason, what kind of partner? The kind who fits in, who knows how to navigate these rooms without making things awkward. You mean the kind who's more successful than me? I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Another silence, sharper this time. Do you know what Jason's fiancée does? She's a neurosurgeon. Derek's girlfriend runs her own investment fund. Mark's wife has a PhD from Stanford. Those are the women at these events, Brooke. That's the standard. The standard I didn't meet. So what am I? Your disappointment? You're my fiancé. Who embarrasses you? I didn't say that. You didn't have to say it, Cameron. You've been saying it for months, with little comments, little digs, trying to get me to become someone I'm not. That's not fair. What's not fair is getting engaged to someone and then spending 6 months trying to turn them into someone else. He pulled off the highway. We were 2 miles from my apartment. I love you, he said strained. But yes, okay, I wish you were more ambitious. I wish you cared about advancing your career the way I care about mine. I wish when I introduced you to my colleagues, they were impressed, instead of just polite. There it was, finally, the truth. You wish I was someone else. I wish you wanted more. That's different. He pulled up in front of my building and put the car in park. Neither of us moved. Maybe we should postpone the wedding, he said quietly. I turned to look at him. His jaw was set, eyes straight ahead. Postpone it? Just until you figure out what you want to do with your career, until we're both in a better place. You mean until I'm impressive enough to stand next to you? That's not what I mean. That's exactly what you mean. I grabbed my purse, opened the door. Brooke, wait. I'll talk to you later, I said, and got out before he could say anything else. I didn't cry until I got inside. Then I sat on my couch in my $240 dress and cried until my face hurt. The next morning, I woke up with that hollow clarity that comes after something breaks. I made coffee, sat at my kitchen table, and opened my laptop. The wedding was scheduled for June 14th at the Crane Estate in Ipswich. We'd put down an $8,500 non-refundable deposit in September. I stared at the venue's contact page for a long time. Then I picked up my phone and called my best friend, Jessa. She answered on the second ring. Hey, what's up? Cameron wants to postpone the wedding. Silence. Then, I'm coming over. Jessa arrived 40 minutes later with bagels, cream cheese, and righteous fury. He said, "What?" she demanded, sitting across from me. I told her everything. The comments, the gala, the conversation in the car. When I finished, Jessa was quiet for a long moment. Brooke, you know you're not actually going to marry this man, right? We're engaged. Yeah, and he just told you he's embarrassed by you. That's not engagement jitters. That's contempt. The word landed hard. Contempt. He's stressed,
his firm is going through a lot right now. He didn't mean it the way it sounded. Jessa reached across the table and grabbed my hand. Yes, he did. He meant every word. And the fact that you're sitting here making excuses for him tells me you've been doing this for a while. I looked down at my engagement ring. The diamond caught the morning light. I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. You just don't want to do it. She was right. We sat there for a while, eating bagels, not saying much. Then Jess's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and her eyebrows shot up. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. What? She turned her phone to show me. Instagram. Cameron had posted a photo from last night. Him in his Tom Ford suit, holding champagne, standing with 2 senior partners. The caption read, "Great night with the Mitchell and Stone family. Grateful for these opportunities. Hashtag big things ahead." I wasn't in the photo. Not even in the background. "I cropped me out," I said numbly. "He didn't crop you out. He never took a photo with you." I grabbed my own phone and scrolled through his Instagram. The last photo he'd posted of us together was from August, 4 months ago, before the comments started, before I became someone he needed to hide. That's when I made my decision. "I need you to help me with something," I said. Jessa leaned forward. "I'm listening." Cameron's firm is having their Christmas party on December 22nd. It's this big, formal thing at the Langham Hotel. Dinner, dancing, awards, all the partners and their families. Okay. I'm going to make sure he knows I'm done before he gets the chance. Jess's grin was sharp and immediate. "Tell me everything." Over the next 3 days, Jessa and I planned everything down to the last detail. The firm's Christmas party was on December 22nd at 7 p.m. Cameron still hadn't officially uninvited me yet, but he'd started dropping hints. "It's mostly going to be work talk, probably boring for you. On Tuesday, I might have to network most of the night. You'd be stuck at a table alone." He was building his excuse, brick by brick. I let him think it was working. On Wednesday, December 18th, I called the Crane estate. "Hi, this is Brooke Sullivan. I need to cancel our wedding reservation for June 14th. The woman on the phone was kind but firm. "I'm sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, as stated in your contract, the deposit is non-refundable." "I understand. I'd still like to cancel." There was a pause. "All right. I'll process that today. You'll receive a confirmation email within 24 hours. Thank you." When I hung up, my hands were shaking. Not from fear, from relief. That evening, Cameron texted me. "Can we talk about the party on Saturday? I think it might be better if you skip it. These things are really just work events, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable." I stared at the message for a full minute. Then I typed back, "Actually, I already have plans for Saturday. Have a great time." He called immediately. I let it ring out. He texted again. "What plans? We talked about this party weeks ago." Me, "Things change. I'm sure you'll be fine without me." He didn't respond after that. On Thursday, I opened our shared wedding planning folder on Google Drive and removed myself from every document: guest list, vendor contacts, timeline, budget spreadsheet. Then, I opened our shared calendar and deleted every wedding-related event: dress fittings, cake tastings, venue walkthroughs. Gone. Cameron noticed within an hour. He called. I answered this time. "What are you doing?" His voice was tight, controlled. "Cleaning up?" "You deleted everything." "I removed myself from the planning. You said we should postpone, remember? So I'm stepping back." "I didn't say delete everything, Brooke. I said postpone." "Right. So you can plan it whenever you're ready. I'm out." "You're out?" "I'm done, Cameron." Silence on his end. Then, "Done with what? The wedding planning?" "Done with you." More silence. I could hear him breathing, hear the moment it landed. You're breaking up with me? You've been breaking up with me for 6 months. I'm just making it official. Brooke, wait! I canceled the venue this morning. You'll get the confirmation email. The $8,500 deposit is gone, and honestly, it's the best money I've ever spent. You canceled? His voice cracked. You can't just cancel our wedding venue without talking to me. You wanted to postpone it because I'm not impressive enough to marry. I'm saving us both time. That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said. And you know what? You're right. I'm not impressive enough for you. I'm not a neurosurgeon or an investment fund manager or someone with a PhD from Stanford. I'm just me. And that's never going to be enough for you. Brooke, please, can we just talk about this in person? No. You're making a huge mistake. The only mistake I made was staying this long. I hung up. He called back 6 times. I didn't answer. He texted, "We need to talk about this like adults." Then, "You're being completely irrational." Then, "Fine, if this is what you want, I'll give you space, but you're going to regret this." I blocked his number. Friday evening, Jessa came over with wine and takeout. "How are you holding up?" she asked. "Honestly, I feel incredible." She grinned. "Good, because tomorrow is going to be even better." "What do you mean?" She pulled out her phone and showed me a text from her cousin who worked as an event coordinator at the Langham Hotel. "The firm's Christmas party," Jessa said. "Cameron's going to be there, obviously, but guess who's going to get a special delivery during dinner?" I leaned forward. "What kind of delivery?" "An envelope, hand-delivered to his table in front of everyone." My heart started racing. "What's in the envelope?" "And a copy of the venue cancellation confirmation, a letter from you, and your engagement ring." I stared at her. "Jessa, what? He wanted to postpone the wedding because you're not impressive enough to marry? Let him explain that to his senior partners over Christmas dinner." It was petty. It was dramatic. It was absolutely perfect. We spent the next hour crafting the letter. It needed to be clear, devastating, and impossible to spin. The final version read, "Cameron, since you asked me to postpone our wedding until I become impressive enough to marry, I've decided to save us both time. Our venue is canceled. The engagement is over. I hope you find someone who meets your standards. Best of luck with your career. It's clearly all that matters to you. Brooke." Short, brutal, true.
Jess's cousin confirmed everything Saturday morning. Envelope will be delivered at 8:15 p.m., right after the main course. He's seated at table floor with 2 senior partners and their wives. This is going to be a show. I spent Saturday in a strange state of calm. I cleaned my apartment, returned a few things Cameron had left behind to a box by the door, took off my engagement ring and put it in a small envelope with his name on it. At 8 p.m., I was sitting on my couch in sweatpants, watching a Christmas movie, when my phone started buzzing. "Jessa, it's happening!" My heart jumped. I grabbed my phone and waited. At 8:22 p.m., Jess's cousin sent a photo. It was blurry, taken from across the room, but I could see Cameron at his table, an envelope in his hand, his face completely white. Jessa called. "He just opened it, Brooke. I'm telling you, the man looked like he was going to pass out. Everyone at his table is staring at him." "What's he doing?" "He's just sitting there, not moving. Someone just asked if he's okay. He's not answering." I felt a rush of something dark and satisfying. "Oh my God, he's standing up. He's leaving the table. Brooke, he just walked out of the ballroom." "He left? Full on fled. Just left his coat, his drink, everything." I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, imagining the scene. Cameron's colleagues leaning in, whispering, someone picking up the letter he dropped, the story spreading table by table. For the next hour, my phone was silent. Then, at 9:30 p.m., it started. First, a text from Derek.
What the hell did you do? Cameron just left the firm's Christmas party in the middle of dinner. He won't answer his phone. Then Jason, Brooke, I don't know what's going on with you and Cam, but embarrassing him at a work event is way over the line. I read each message with a cold, steady satisfaction. They were angry because I'd humiliated him. None of them asked why. I didn't respond to any of them. At 10:15 p.m., Cameron called from a different number. I answered. "How could you do this to me?" His voice was ragged, furious. "Do you have any idea what you just did?" "Yes." "I was at a work event, Brooke. My bosses were there. Everyone saw." "Good." "Good? Are you insane? You made me look like a complete fool." "You made yourself look like a fool when you told me I wasn't impressive enough to marry." "You never said that." "You said you wanted to postpone the wedding until I figured out my career. You said the people at your firm were used to a certain kind of partner. You said I didn't fit in. You said all of that, Cameron. I just made sure everyone else knew who you really are. You're vindictive. I'm done with this conversation." I hung up, blocked the new number. By Monday morning, the story had spread. Jessa came over with updates. Okay, so apparently the letter made the rounds at like 3 different tables before someone put it away, and Cameron's boss pulled him aside this morning to ask if everything was okay. Did he tell him why? She grinned. According to my cousin, Cameron tried to spin it as you being unstable, but someone at the party remembered him saying he wished his fiancée was more ambitious. It got back to his boss. You're kidding. Nope. Apparently his boss is not impressed. The firm's big on integrity and family values. Having your engagement implode because you're embarrassed by your fiancé? Not a great look. Over the next week, Cameron tried everything. He sent flowers with a card that said, "I'm sorry, please let me explain." I left them in the hallway. He sent an email where he tried to explain that he'd been under enormous pressure at work. He wrote, "I never meant to make you feel like you weren't enough." I deleted it.
On December 28th, Linda called me. "Brooke?" Her voice was thick. "Please, don't hang up." "I'm listening." "Cameron told me everything. What he said to you, how he treated you. I had to drag it out of him, but he finally admitted it." I said nothing. "I'm so sorry. I had no idea he was behaving that way. What he did was unforgivable." "Thank you for saying that." "He's a mess, Brooke. He knows he ruined the best thing in his life." I felt a twist of something in my chest. Not quite sympathy, just the faint ache of watching someone you loved self-destruct. "Linda, I appreciate you calling, but I'm not going back to him." "I'm not asking you to. I just wanted you to know he understands what he lost. And for what it's worth, I think you made the right choice." We talked for a few more minutes. When we hung up, I sat in the quiet of my apartment and realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't sad. I was free. On New Year's Eve, Jessa dragged me to a party in Somerville. "You're coming. You're wearing something hot. You're drinking champagne. You're starting the new year like the independent woman you are." So I went. The party was at someone's loft, full of people I didn't know, music too loud, drinks too strong. I stood in the corner with a glass of champagne. At 11:47 p.m., a guy approached me. Tall, dark hair, kind eyes. "Hi," he said. "I'm Owen." "Brooke?" "You look like you'd rather be anywhere else." I laughed. "That obvious?" We talked until midnight. When the countdown started, he didn't try to kiss me. He just raised his glass and said, "To new beginnings." I clinked my glass against his. "To new beginnings." When I got home that night, I found one last text from Cameron, sent at 11:59 p.m.
I hope you have a good year, Brooke. I'm sorry for everything. You deserved better. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed back. I know I did. Happy New Year, Cameron. I deleted his number after that, blocked him on everything. On January 3rd, I got a call from the Crane estate. Hi, Miss Sullivan. I wanted to follow up on your cancellation. We've had another couple interested in your original June 14th date. They're willing to pay the full deposit, which means we'd be able to refund your $8,500. I almost dropped my phone. Are you serious? Completely. When the money hit my account a week later, I used $2,000 to book a trip to Iceland in March. Just me. Solo travel, northern lights, hot springs, silence. The rest went into savings. By mid-January, my life had settled into a new rhythm. I went to work, came home, saw friends, went to my pottery class on Thursdays. I didn't think about Cameron every day anymore. One Saturday in late January, I ran into Jason at a coffee shop in Cambridge. He saw me first, hesitated, then walked over. Brooke, hey. Hi. I wanted to say I'm sorry for what I texted you after the Christmas party. That wasn't fair. I tilted my head. What changed your mind? I talked to Cameron a few weeks ago. Really talked to him. He told me what he said to you, about postponing the wedding, about you not being impressive enough. And I realized you didn't humiliate him. He humiliated himself. Yeah, he did. For what it's worth, he's not doing great. I think he finally understands what he lost. I didn't feel triumphant hearing that. I just felt tired. I hope he figures himself out, but that's not my problem anymore.
On February 9th, exactly 2 months after the Christmas party, I got an email from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line read, "Thank you." I opened it cautiously. "Hi, Brooke. You don't know me, but I work at Mitchell & Stone. I was at the Christmas party in December. I saw what happened with Cameron, and I just wanted to reach out and say thank you. My fiancé has been making similar comments about my job for months. Seeing you stand up for yourself gave me the courage to call off my own wedding. I'm so much happier now. I hope you are too. Sarah." I read it 3 times. Then I saved it in a folder labeled Reminders. Because sometimes you need proof that walking away wasn't just good for you. It was good for everyone watching. Spring came slowly, then all at once. The snow melted, the trees turned green. I booked my Iceland trip, bought new hiking boots, started running again. On March 15th, I left for Reykjavik. I spent a week chasing waterfalls, soaking in hot springs, watching the northern lights dance across the sky in ribbons of green and purple. I hiked alone, ate alone, sat in silence, and felt utterly, completely whole. On my last night, I stood on a black sand beach at midnight, wind whipping my hair, waves crashing in the darkness. I thought about Cameron, about the life I almost lived, about the version of myself I'd been shrinking into, trying to be impressive enough, ambitious enough, enough. And I felt nothing but gratitude that I'd walked away. Because the truth was simple. I was always enough. I just needed to stop asking permission to believe it.